what's up?
Yeah, y'all already know how we playing out this real life.
Real life.
Yeah, nigga, no Diddy gang, Meek Mill in real life. Don't ever disrespect me, you
Talk
heard?
that Meek. Yeah, Meek.
No f***ing way, Jimmy. Oh my God, bro. Are you f***ing kidding me? Come out here.
They just uncovered tunnels underneath his house.
Diddy's?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Meek Mill, once rumored to be Diddy's close confidant and maybe more, has just dropped a bombshell. He's officially cutting ties with his bestie. But it doesn't stop there. Meek suddenly spilled the tea about Diddy's alleged underground tunnels, which are now at the center of investigations into his infamous freak-offs. And here's the kicker. Diddy's La Mansion is just steps away from the Playboy Mansion, infamous for its underground tunnels back in the 70s. Coincidence? Fans think not.
The tunnels from Diddy's house led to Hugh Hefner's house. That naked pool was down there long before Diddy was able to buy a home. It was Hugh Hefner's house where most of the offenses that the women accused Bill Cosby of took place. The Playboy Mansion. And everybody know Hugh Hefner was filming, had cameras in the wall. I don't know. Did anybody ever ask whether or not Bill Cosby had a freak-off tape? Next thing you know, his son is dying. Next thing you know, all kinds of weird things keep on happening. All of that fame, all of that success. If they really wanted to take him down with all of this, they should have did it in the late 80s or the early 90s.
Here's the plot twist. The same La Mansion linked to these rumors was quietly listed for a whopping $61 million just 10 days before Diddy's September 17th indictment. Talk about timing. Fans are now speculating whether this was a panic move to offload assets before the heat caught up to him. Digging deeper into the story, it turns out Diddy's La Mansion isn't just close to Hugh Hefner's infamous Playboy Mansion. It's practically neighbors with other Hollywood elites, including Kylie Jenner. Before diving into Diddy's alleged involvement with tunnels, let's revisit the Playboy Mansion's murky past. In the 70s, Hugh Hefner's estate wasn't just a party spot. It reportedly had secret tunnels connecting to nearby celebrity homes, allegedly for private and questionable activities. These tunnels came to light when blueprints surfaced during renovations in the 2000s. While Hefner dismissed the claims, the detailed maps raised eyebrows. Now, with Diddy's La Mansion located just steps away from the Playboy property, speculation is mounting. Could he be using similar tunnels for his own purposes, or is it just an eerie coincidence?
And actually built tunnels that connected the Playboy Mansion to the homes of these movie stars back in the 70s. These were discovered recently in a vault at the Playboy Mansion. John, this is not a joke. These are real blueprints. If you zoom in on the blue, now, okay, what we have here is on one side of it, there's the Playboy Mansion. On the other side of it, there's Warren Beatty's house, and they've constructed a blueprint for a tunnel to connect the two of them. Now, Jack Nicholson was Warren Beatty's neighbor, so he had his own little offshoot, and James Caan, so this, he lived off in the other direction. The blueprints actually have their names on them. Northbound tunnel to Mr. J. Nicholson residence.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So, I mean, was it like you move into the neighborhood and the homeowners association says like, hey, and by the way, we'll build you a tunnel directly to the Playboy Mansion?
Do you think, I mean, these guys were having the party of their lives. These tunnels, now, the reason that this was come across is that Playboy, the publishers of Playboy now, were researching an article about the 70th birthday, or an article about the history of Playboy and the history of Hugh Hefner, and they were going through old photos, and they found some photos of construction happening that were these tunnels, and they went to ask the current general manager of the Playboy Mansion, and this is what they said. Playboy.com published this. We asked the new general manager at the mansion about these photos. He said, very matter-of-factly, that's probably when they built the tunnels in the 70s. So they were like, what tunnels? What are you talking about, tunnels? There's these photos of the construction on these tunnels, and so they went to investigate further, and they found in a vault in the basement area of the Playboy Mansion a bunch of blueprints. and this is where they discovered the actual blueprints of these tunnels, which were built. And apparently the tunnels were active until the late 80s when Hefner got married. And then the wife was like, Jack's not coming over. They covered up the holes.
Only imagine what an active tunnel to the Playboy Mansion would look like.
Can't imagine what was going on in those times. Can you imagine?
So what happened? Did they close them down? Were they sealed off?
They sealed them up. They covered them up in 1985.
Just like Hugh Hefner's infamous tunnel designs, Diddy's mansion reportedly features similar underground pathways accessible through the pool area. This detail was confirmed by Fox News following the March raids on Diddy's property.
Guys, they found underground tunnels at Diddy's homes. This was first brought up by Shadow of Ezra, where he talked about the underground tunnels in Diddy's luxurious Los Angeles mansion. It was an underwater swimming tunnel leading to a mysterious grotto, reminiscent of an ancient and modern human use of caves. Now, this is all alleged, of course, but they say that this tunnel connects to the Playboy Mansion. You guys remember that? Hugh Hefner, the guy who lived with all those women in his mansion? There's no available evidence right now. However, reports are noting that Combs mansions do have a pool with an underwater swimming tunnel. They say it's not connected to the Playboy Mansion, but there is a reason why the Playboy Mansion keeps coming up. 10 years ago, they were building underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion for people like Jack Nicholson for his birthday. So this way, they don't have to go through the outside, but go underground in secret to the Playboy Mansion to do God knows what. You can see the sketches here of these underground tunnels being built. They were working on it, and it was supposed to connect celebrities like Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Michael Jackson, just to name a few. As reported by People magazine, these underground tunnels to the Playboy Mansion were sealed off in the 1980s. The question is, do you believe that?
The eerie part is that Hugh Hefner was reportedly running similar freak-offs back in the day, and they were just as dark as Diddy's activities, fully documented. What's crazier is that these freak-offs were fully documented but later destroyed, likely to avoid drawing any suspicion or attention to what was really going on. Diddy acquired this mansion back in 2014, and it's hard not to believe he knew about the tunnel's existence. While what went down in these tunnels remains speculative, rumors suggest that Diddy's infamous after-parties were hosted underground, and Jaguar Wright believes Diddy's choice of this home was no coincidence.
It definitely makes more sense to
Why
move.
is nobody talking about the fact that everyone's acting like the El Chapo tunnels just disappeared after he was arrested and they're not in use?
Yeah. It makes more sense to move to where the tunnels are than to build your own tunnels, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Those tunnels under those houses in Beverly Hills have been there for decades, before Diddy was born. Now, in order to have an intricate system of tunnels like that working underneath the community, that would mean certain people could only know that they existed. That means you would have to lie or on the blueprints to your house for renovations. You couldn't be able to tell a real estate agents what's going on because they would have to disclose to whoever they're selling to, which means this is a very, very, very organized secret society.
Oh, understatement.
Like, it's not like the Beverly Hillbillies where Diddy just went and found a house in Beverly Hills and just, moved in and got lucky and found a trafficking tunnel. And oh my God, that's what's in the way. Like, no, that's not what that were. He bought that house because he knew the access that came along with it.
Of course.
Which means someone told him that house had access that came along with it.
I would even go one step further. I would say all these properties are controlled by this cabal, and it was just Diddy's time to move into that. It was just his time to take the position up there, because for a fact this is prime. If you're a people smuggler, you want to be owning all the properties with the tunnels. Do you know what I'm saying? There ain't no, oh well, that was good for a while. I know we're the 1% and got all the billions. That slipped through our fingers. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm fully on board with that, Jaguar, 100%.
Yeah, I'm surprised that OJ, if he did what he did over there, Why he didn't jump in a tunnel? Why did he just ride around? You telling me he didn't know the people that know the tunnels?
Listen, OJ got not guilty. Nothing should surprise you about OJ. Okay, nothing.
You wanna know what surprises me even more than that?
Yes.
That the actual convicted serial killer who was their grounds worker, who was working there and had had a disgruntled exchange with Nicole and her boyfriend just days before that happened, was never questioned.
Yeah, okay. That's suspicious. I'm with you there.
Yeah, the guy that's always by the wood chipper. Like, I'm just like, you know, if I'm a cop and I come into a brutal double homicide, and I'm like, you know, going through a list of everyone that works in the house and comes through the house, I think one of the first people I would want to question would be the convicted serial killer.
Do you know how good you are at this stuff?
He's like a policeman.
Yeah. Do you know how good you are at this, Jaguar? In less than 30 seconds, you've convinced me OJ didn't do it. Okay, I'm just saying that's how good you are at this. All right.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
That's kind of like how Me Too. They did that thorough investigation with all of those brilliant minds, and the only people they found were Harvey Weinstein. I mean, I'm sorry, they didn't find Diddy. Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly, they missed Diddy. They missed everybody, huh?
Other celebrities have also started speaking out about the existence of these underground tunnels in Hollywood. They hint at secretive events and hidden gatherings, some even suggesting that these tunnels serve darker, more mysterious purposes within the entertainment industry.
The darkness of it, and I'm just good for you for getting the you know what I want to ask you about, actually? I think Jeffrey would be a really good person to ask about this. We've been talking about it a bunch lately. Tunnels under Hollywood.
Okay.
Do you believe in them? Do you think they exist? Have you been to them?
They are real.
Really?
I knew I would
Now
get...
I'm just pissed I'm not invited.
Nobody's
even thought to tell me about it.
Keep going.
Well, there's so many different tunnels because the old days, I mean, really, we built our city on top of a city that kind of already existed. So there's just a lot under there.
And do you think celebrities really use them? Do you think people really use them?
Yes.
And you think it's the 1%? Like, you think it's just like the...
It's definitely the 1%. And the problem is I've been invited to these scenarios, and I've felt like the sickest, most lead, cancerous feeling ever, and I've never gone down those routes.
So same with like Illuminati stuff. I'm sure you're gonna say the same thing. It's real. You've seen it, but you didn't want to take a part in it.
They tried to blackmail and coerce me over and over and over to do horrible things, and I'm just not a horrible person.
So you obviously believe all of this Diddy stuff is real and darker than it's even shown.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm glad people are finally seeing it. I think when they saw him viciously Cassie, it all made sense because all we do is know his music and he's great. And then I think when you actually see someone as a monster, it's like, holy.
This story could also shed light on Michael Jackson's mysterious death. His home was very close to the Playboy Mansion, and some speculate that he might have known too much about the darker side of Hollywood. Adding to the intrigue, Diddy's bodyguard was also Michael's bodyguard, the same person who reportedly found MJ poisoned. Could these connections be more than just coincidence? It's a chilling thought, and the dots are starting to connect in a way that raises more questions than answers.
Now let's take a trip to Los Angeles. This mansion is where Michael Jackson lived and passed away in 2009. Just a short distance away is the home of another music mogul, American rapper Sean Diddy Combs. And this is where our story begins. Diddy is currently in jail, facing serious charges related to trafficking and racketeering. Days after Diddy's arrest, a conspiracy theory has emerged online suggesting there is a secret underground tunnel at his mansion that connects to Michael Jackson's home. According to one version of the story, a neighbor sent an anonymous tip to federal officers about unusual activity at Diddy's house. When the agents arrived, Diddy's team reportedly prevented them from entering. Despite this, the agents decided to search Diddy's newly renovated bedroom. When they moved the bed, they allegedly found a tunnel hidden under a rug and discovered children's clothes inside the passage.
You're not going to believe this, but there is, in fact, a Diddy and Michael Jackson connection.
Social media users have since raised questions about Michael Jackson's death, with some calling for a reopening of his case and alleging Diddy's involvement. However, it's important to note that there is no evidence confirming the existence of this tunnel, and authorities have not verified these claims. The relationship between Sean Diddy Combs and Michael Jackson is not very well documented. They were seen together at the 2003 VMA party hosted by Diddy, but there's no indication of a close friendship. In fact, Diddy shared a funny story about Michael unexpectedly crashing that party while looking for Beyonce.
Mr. Michael Jackson is here to see you. I'm chit-chatting, and so right there he has his arm, bring that up so they can see his arm around me, but then you don't see the shot of him whispering in my ear. Right after the shot was taken, he whispers in my ear, he says, "Where's Beyonce?" Really?
In a later interview, Diddy expressed his admiration for Michael and a desire to collaborate, but their schedules never matched. Now here's a surprising link between Sean Diddy Combs and Michael Jackson you must know. Fahim Muhammad, Diddy's head of security, used to work for Michael Jackson as his security chief. Notably, Muhammad was among the first to discover Jackson's body after his death. Before working for Diddy, Muhammad was Jackson's bodyguard and driver. Known as Mr. Fix-It, Muhammad now faces allegations of shielding Diddy from authorities in an ongoing lawsuit. Michael Jackson passed away in Los Angeles on 25th June 2009 at the age of 50. The cause of his death was officially ruled to be an overdose of the anesthetic propofol. His personal doctor, Dr. Conrad Murray, was convicted of involuntary manslaughter for administering the drug. Michael Jackson's life was filled with controversy. He faced allegations of child in 1993 and again in 2005. Although he was acquitted and the FBI found no evidence against him, these allegations continued to follow him throughout his life.
There are shrines used for rituals. There's bloody places. There's parts where there's limbs. People cut off limbs and want you to have in it. There's blood that I don't even know who it belongs to. There's a lot.
So hang on. So someone like the people that you've named are here at these shrines where there is human flesh, bones, human body parts, and they want people to participate in amongst all of this human blood. Is that a satanic ritual feces? Is this a satanic ritual that they are participating in?
Yes. Yes, there's people who want to, there's people who have animals, dead animals. I was taken and told that I had to give up to.
So you said you don't tell on these people. Is that like a code that all victims adhere to? They don't talk about this stuff?
Yes, you don't, because nobody's gonna believe you. You're nothing to them. You don't count. You're just a toy. You're not essential, as they call them. You're expendable. And as a child in that situation, I wasn't the type of person that was fighting all the time, because I started to learn who I was. I started to learn my pimp. I started to learn what I was in. I started to learn that you don't fight. You watch what you say, you watch what you do, And at some point, I stopped fighting people. And I started to accept the fact of what I was told, that I was special enough to be with this person. I was special enough to be in the eyes of a celebrity or somebody who's on the radio or on TV. And